Gentlemen, welcome back to the University of Smooth. I'm your host, Nixon the Dark, the internet's leading expert on building a roadmap to male value. You know the roadmap, you know it well. It's world famous at this point. It's tattooed on your imaginary girlfriend's very imaginary but very appealing thigh or ass. Get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. It has swept the nation in popularity, but some of you may be wondering, which of these three is the most important to do? Short answer, get jacked. But there are things to say about each one of these that will help you better understand how to prioritize the roadmap vis-a-vis your personal situation. So we will take them in order. Starting with get jacked. Why do we say get jacked is the most important part of the male roadmap? A couple of reasons. One, it's default most important. Others may have more priority at a given time. It's never that simple. Life, as we say, is always messy. So is building male value. But get jacked is by default the most important because if all else fails, we are animals. If you have raw physicality, especially when you're a little younger, and especially if you have a height advantage, you can get and retain access to women all day long, even if you're broke. Okay, maybe not every hour of every day. But as we say, our cartoon character version of this, tall, jacked, violent psychopath, you don't have to have any money or training or job, resume, pedigree, or anything like that to acquire those traits, which women find extremely attractive and extremely arousing. This is the weird irony of inequality in our society. It's not always financial or status based because there are plenty of broke dudes who fit the bill, and women will give them, as I like to say, animal access to their fertility. That's what it means by having physicality. We, and by we I mean human beings, men and women, we are both fucking primates, and sometimes we pretty much just fuck like primates. Other reason that getting jacked is by default the most important component of the roadmap is, as we've predicted, this is just our casual observation, we see escalating violence in the coming years due to inequality of opportunity. That's something that we suspect will happen. It may or may not, but if it does, you want to be prepared for handling a very, very violent threat environment. And getting jacked is our way of saying, here is how you can be prepared for violence. What about learning game? Learning game, much like converting your talent to clout, both of those are force multipliers for separate things. Learning game, which is to say mastering attractive behaviors, eliminating unattractive behaviors, and learning the dark arts for dealing with women, those will be force multipliers for relationships. You will maximize your personal relationships when you know game. It is how you attract people into your life and you retain them in your life, both men and women. Yeah, different set of rules apply to each, but there's a ton of overlap between the two, and it's your ability to do well in terms of being a person of value within the context of a relationship, within the context of interacting with men and women. Converting your talent to clout, that is your opportunity force multiplier. It is your force multiplier for sex. I want to make a distinction here. Your talent you can use to survive economically, get a decent job, and find a way of having nice, stable life for yourself. That's one component to having status and making use of your talent. When we say convert your talent to clout, we're talking about maxing out. That is, finding talents that you have that are visible and can translate into something that has legit value in the sexual marketplace. That's the kind of clout we're talking about. When you have apex level clout, and it doesn't have to necessarily mean world megastar fame, but high levels of status within your community, that is a force multiplier for sex because it is how you generate the most possible opportunity. Ask anybody who's famous, they essentially, opportunity compounds upon itself. So the reason it's so critical in terms of creating opportunities is that you become more visible when you have a ton of clout, and then you take advantage of social proof. That's why it's such a massive, massive force multiplier. When women see that you have value, they want access to you. That is the nature of having a high level of status in our society. But here's the bitter, bitter irony for guys who lack value. When women see women looking to you for value, those women just assume that you have value and they want it too. Women follow other women to the goal line, to the pot of gold, to the pot of fucking male value. That is the mimetic nature of male value vis-a-vis female desire. It is the force multiplier of social proof, and it is how the rich get richer. The problem is converting your talent to apex level clout. That's a tall order for men. Even if, there are plenty of different ways in which you can acquire clout, getting all the way up to that rarefied air, that's difficult. We still suggest that you pursue it because you may just make a good living if you only get here. But that's also why we say that by default, getting jacked is the most important component to male value. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and you know our roadmap, you know it well. You get it tattooed on your imaginary girlfriend's thigh, and eventually you'll get it tattooed on your real girlfriend's thigh. Take care.